Hi, it's Laura from the Charleston Holistic Center. And today we are talking about compassion, empathy, gratitude with a caveat of motivation. And it really feels like this is a follow-on to the video that I did for June 3rd, 2022. So if you haven't seen that one, please go back and look at that. All right, compassion, empathy, gratitude. Some weighty topics, but they are what lead us to be in the correct space to create the life that we want to manifest. So really important to get these topics down. Compassion and empathy. They are not about feeling sorry for someone. Sorry can lead to pity or it can lead to enabling. And neither of those emotions are where compassion and empathy should be leading you. All right? Compassion is about being kinder, nicer, gentler. That's compassion. It's not about enabling. Compassion for ourselves, really key, is again not about enabling our poor choices, bad behaviors, or unhealthy habits. All right? How do we have compassion for ourselves? Well, the classic definition is to not create suffering. It's the opposite of suffering. But what does that mean? How do we create suffering for ourselves? Two really big ways that we create suffering for ourselves. The way we talk to ourselves and the way we treat ourselves. All right. So, compassion would be talking more kindly to ourselves. It would be treating ourselves more gently all the time, but especially when we've screwed up. When things haven't gone perfect, we tend to really beat ourselves up. This is the opposite of compassion. We're creating suffering. So, within ourselves, when we do something that's not perfect, be kind and gentle. Talk to ourselves in a kind and gentle way. This includes thoughts, okay? Calling ourselves bad names. Time to ditch that. Time to ditch that. All right? When we are compassionate with ourselves, we find it even easier to be compassionate with others. The emotion of compassion is really akin and almost the same as a feeling of loving. Okay? So I'm going to ask, can you create a ball of loving energy within yourself? Think of a person or a pet or a thing or situation that makes you feel really loving. Create a ball of energy of loving within yourself. Can you then bathe your whole being in that energy? Can you project it out to all living things around you? To the whole world? That's compassion. Now, empathy. Empathy is not pity. Okay? Empathy is about understanding how someone else is feeling. It's about, can you feel into the other person? Can you use that understanding and that feeling to get a better understanding of why that person is doing what they're doing? When you can do that, can you take that to be more compassionate? All right? That's really the purpose of empathy. Now, do you do that? Use it for understanding and compassion, or do you allow, when you feel into someone else's emotions, do you allow them to swamp you? Compassion and empathy both need to have boundaries. Okay? In compassion, the boundary is to not enable. In empathy, the boundary is to not become swamped, to not get sucked in and sucked under. Okay? Empathy is a sense, like the sense of smell. If you smell freshly baked cookies, you probably go, yum. But you don't end up as a puddle on the floor. You don't go on a rampage in order to go get them. You don't end up in your bed for 3 days because you smelled freshly baked cookies. I know. Let's have a bad scent. You smell a skunk. Ew! But that doesn't crush you to smell the scent of a skunk. You don't end up in a horrible place because you smelled the scent of a skunk. So if your empathy has been landing you in a horrible place, it's a sense. It's supposed to be just a sense where you feel into another, but you do not attach to the emotion, just like you didn't attach to the scent of a skunk. Okay? So, compassion and empathy come together. With empathy, you should not be attaching to the other person's emotions. You shouldn't, heck, even be attaching to your own emotions. Okay? In my June 3rd podcast, I talked about why we don't do this. Why crappy emotional experiences all day lead to a perpetually crappy life. Check it out to understand that a little better. What about motivation? From this, I'm talking about why we do something. So are your motivations coming from love, compassion, service? Or is it all about gimme, 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 mine, mine, mine? One of those is aligned with your soul and not so much. So let me be super clear. It is absolutely okay to want nice things. Why? Well, if you want to love people, if you want to uplift people, if you want to serve, if you want to help the world, it's really super hard to do that if all day, every day for you is a struggle, if you don't sleep at night because of worry, if you're in perpetual anxiety. You may be able to help some people a little bit. So, what if your motivation is where you think it needs to be? Okay. If your goals are aligned with your soul, so check on motivation, check on goals. If you are working on your compassion and using it, if your empathy is informing you and helping with your compassion, and you're still not getting the life that you envision and want, well, you have to think about gratitude. Yeah, gratitude. Okay. If you have been doing the 6-phase meditation from Mindvalley that you can get on YouTube, if you've been doing that, then actually you're good to go. Actually, you're covered. All right. It takes a little time to start rolling with that. So keep practicing. If you haven't started that, go to YouTube. You can find it from Mindvalley, 6-phase meditation. It'll cover it. But what if you want to supercharge this, or you really want to get into this concept of gratitude? Well, then you can do it as a separate practice. And it has been found that journaling it, actually writing it out, not typing, actually writing it out, triggers more activity in the brain. And it also seems to be pretty easy to do this in threes. So you do your personal life, your work career life, and yourself. And you do 3 goals in each. So 3 goals in your personal life. So your personal life is everything outside of work and outside of your body. So this is friends, family, social interactions, your house, your car, your all of that. Pets. So you do 3 goals for that. Then you do 3 goals for your career, work, and you want to gratitude for your career and work, and you want to make sure that these are things that you actually like about your career and work, and want to have expand and grow. And then you do 3 things about yourself personally. This could be your bio bodysuit here, so you might like your eyes or your hair, or maybe you like the way your nails work, or maybe you like the way you interacted with someone the other day when they were not being nice and you managed to find your zen and show them compassion. All right? So 3 goals or 3 gratitudes for yourself. Now, do these have to be big? No, actually the science around this, and yes, there's science around gratitude. The science around this says that a big goal, big gratitude works just as well as a little one. And what do I mean by that? Like gratitude for your coffee mug this morning so that you could put coffee in is just as good, quote unquote, as gratitude for a huge promotion at work. Just as good. So you can go small. You don't have to go big. The thing is to feel into it. You really have to feel that gratitude. Okay? That's the key. The feeling. It comes back to that every time. It's the feeling. All right? So, let's up our game. Let's consider our motivations, align our goals to our soul, come from compassion and empathy as our guide for the day and every day, and have a gratitude attitude. Oh yeah, I did it. That allows us to help create a better world. Thank you and namaste.